Audible's launch in India. It was a pretty fabulous experience, and this is entertainment redefined. And we only have Audible, the world's leading seller and producer in spoken word entertainment, to thank.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming. It's an honor to be here. So for years, I was asked why so many millions of people around the world are listening to Audible as they are right now, millions of people. And I would simply say, who wouldn't want Colin Firth or Kate Winslet or Nicole Kidman or Scarlett Johansson to tell them a story? So today we formally bring Audible service to India. And I say formally because we've had so many, tens of thousands of Indian listeners for years who are paying up to $15 US to listen, and now they can pay the equivalent of less than $3 here in India. So for me, this is a day that's been a long time coming and really a dream come true. And in the spirit of a dream coming true, it was back in 1994, I was still an author and a journalist for more than 20 years, and I was also someone who loved and actually studied the sound of words. It was then that I began to tell people, I was writing a technology column at the time, that people, this is 1994, mind you, that people would be walking around with little solid-state devices in their pockets, which would be packed with the best of civilization's offerings. And to say that people thought I was pretty crazy at the time would be an understatement. It was a long time ago. But anyways, I left the writing life, and now it's been 21 years since Audible invented and commercialized the first digital audio player and the first audio delivery service. And this was 5 years before the iconic iPod came out from Apple. We've continued as a company to invent technology as we worked hard to push the spoken word into the media mainstream alongside film and television and music and books.
So I'm super excited to be sitting here with all of you. I want to spend the next few minutes talking about, of course, your experience with making this audio book and on your plans for what is going to happen now in India with Audible. Kalki, let's start with you. Tell me what was challenging and what was exciting that brought you on to this project.
Am I audible? Yeah. I think I had already read Mafia Queens of Mumbai a few years back. The foreword had been written by Vishal Bhardwaj, and it caught my eye, and I really liked the book, so that was exciting.
No, I agree with Kalki, but I also feel that as a child, I was brought up with a lot of storytelling. I think storytelling is a part of our culture, a very big part of our culture, and I remember listening to those cassettes of Pula Deshpande reading his own books, and there was another tape I remember called Chan Chan Goshti. In Marathi it means good tales. And so he was always there, and I think I lost that for a long time, and then I got to know about Audible, and I I heard a book on Audible very recently when actually they got in touch, so I thought it was just the perfect thing to do, and I hadn't explored expressing through voice only, because on a video or stage, whatever, you have so many other things to enhance or support what you're trying to communicate, but here you just have your voice, and so how you want to pitch it and what is the tonal quality or how you want to direct the imagination of the listener. And also it's personal, because everyone's going to listen to it individually, so it's like a personal relationship, I think, when it feels like that. And also in your studio, when you're silently doing that, it feels like a very personal thing. So I thought I'll enjoy it, and I did.
I thought it would be pretty smooth, but it wasn't actually.
You went in thinking, "Aasan hoga."
I thought I just had to go and narrate a story and read out a story. But I think it was a bit challenging as well, because you have to, of course, narrate a story and also keep it engaging and entertaining for the listeners, and also to modulate voice. Like in one of my stories, which is Sapna Didi, I'm playing Sapna Didi as well. Like otherwise, I could have never played Sapna Didi for films. I think that's the fun of Audible, being part of Audible, that you could play as actors. You got to play so many characters in just one story. And also just the idea, I was really excited that I had to do a solo performance where I could only use my voice and modulate everything through my voice. Also, I just thought it would be great to explore this idea. But I think all of us, we had a lot of fun, recording all these amazing stories.
How do you know when it's not going well?
And also when you get like a pronunciation wrong, like 8 times, like, you know, Mahalakshmi, Pappamani, it takes you a while. Now I can say it really well, Mahalakshmi, Pappamani. But in the beginning I was saying Papa Mani and all sorts of things, so yeah.
Don, Audible has, of course, collaborated with some of the greatest actors in the world. What is your impression of what our actors have done?
It's been fantastic to talk to them today about, you know, what they saw, that they did see that there's a complexity to it. I told them what many actors tell us, that it's like long distance running as opposed to movies which are more like sprinting, because the intensity of the short shots, the intensity of the close-ups. But one of the things is that some of the actors they loved the control it gave them without...
Did you guys enjoy that? No hair and makeup?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I think one day I came in after a jog, like fully sweaty and everything, and went straight in, which was great.
Yeah, actually once I went cycling. Yeah, my driver was not there and the car was not there, and I thought, let me just cycle. Yeah.
So was there an excerpt or one story from Mafia Queens that really appealed to you, for any of you?
Yes. Is this working? Yeah, now it's working. There's Gangubai's story that really appealed to me. That's one of the stories I read. Mostly because I think that time in Mumbai, I mean, it's my home now, and I'm not really aware of how it would have been. And I think all the mafia stories that I've seen so far are predominantly about men, and women just sort of have the secondary. I think it's I mean, it's just launching here, but I mean, I think otherwise you take any genre, you take any kind of information you want to listen, like know, or you want to have any subject, and also the people who are reading it are incredible performers or writers reading their own material as well. So it's completely very, very diverse, and now that I've had a taste of it, and I'm sure there's a long way to go, and you know, a lot of practice needed, but I think now I'll listen to it with a different perspective, and see what works for me, what doesn't work, and how effective, why is it effective. And I know that they're launching a lot of Hindi books as well. I'm really looking forward to that, because I studied in Marathi, and then I studied in English. So I have read Marathi books and I've read English books, but Hindi I understand perfectly well. But I don't read it very fast, and now I can actually, I have a very convenient way of knowing the literature and certain books that I've been wanting to know.
Yeah. Do you guys see a time when we'll have Audible stars? You know, people, like he said, people buying only one person's book.
Yeah, sure. I think why not? I don't see any other reason that it can't happen here. He was just mentioning how, you know, also it's generating so much of employment. Like 20,000 actors working for Audible in US, it's huge.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think if it can generate employment, and there's so many amazing actors we have in this country, and not everybody's getting work in feature films or series. But now there's something they can do and at least, you know, make that living.
Well, speaking of which, let's bring him in. We have a creator in our midst, and I'm excited to bring another great storyteller on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for one of the most popular authors of this generation, who's created his first ever audio romance. It's an Audible original, Mr. Durjoy Datta. Congratulations on your Audible original. And
thank you.
Tell us, when you're writing specifically for Audible, how do you think you can increase romance using just voice?
I think when you switch from just writing to, say, an audiobook, it heightens every emotion. It's not just romance, it heightens every emotion. So when I was writing it, of course it's a new medium, it's a new format, so it was a bit challenging, but
హలో మిమ్మల్నే యోయో టీవీ యాప్ డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకున్నారా? ఇంకా లేదా? మీ యాప్ స్టోర్కి వెళ్ళి వెంటనే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి.
ఈ వీడియో గనుక మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే
లైక్ చేయండి,
షేర్ చేయండి
అండ్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి.